everybody, and welcome back to Aviation Drive. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. I know I haven't uploaded in a really long time, but as you can see, some things have slightly changed, just a little bit. We have a new background and a new tabletop, and it's now black and like a gray, so you can actually see the models a little bit better now. I've also gotten a new microphone. I don't know if you guys can tell. Tell me in the comments if you see any difference, or I should stick with my old mic. But today we're going to be doing something a little bit different for, me returning and hopefully getting a more daily upload schedule or, weekly upload schedule for you guys. So you guys can actually have some content instead of just hopefully rewatching my old videos. So, we're going to do not top 10, but we're going to do my top models, my favorite models in my collection personally. A lot of the planes that I have here, actually, I haven't even reviewed yet. In the time that I last uploaded, which was like a month, I don't know, maybe it was longer, but it was a while since the last time I uploaded, and now I've gotten a couple of models. And even before I last uploaded, I bought a bunch of models that you guys didn't see before. So hopefully, I can still get reviews for you guys on those models that you haven't seen yet. But I have a couple of cool ones in the list, and this is in no particular order. It's just, and these are from all brands. It's just, my personal opinion on what my favorite models are. And, so let's start off with number 1. They are not in their boxes, but, it's just so we can keep the video as short as possible. Let's raise the camera up a little bit. And here we have NG Models brand new United 787-10, and here is the actual model. And I don't know what to say. This thing is insane. I love this model so much. I love this model so much. NG Models has been absolutely killing it just in general with their models, and now that they've been doing the new United livery, especially on one of my favorite 787 variant, I am ecstatic. This thing looks incredible. The detail is awesome. All the wheels roll. Everything you'd want in a good model is here. The box, one thing that I have to give so much credit to NG Models is the box. I know that seems like such a small detail, but the box makes such a big difference to when you unbox the product. It just looks so good. I'm thinking about getting, this month they're releasing the United 787-9 in the new livery, and I'm thinking about getting that, and I'm thinking about getting when they release the 787-8, just because I love their 787 mold and their new livery on their models. It looks so good. I can't say enough about this model that is good. Like I said, I'm not going to do a full comprehensive review of these. They're going to come in a later video. So if this is what you were looking for, just a really in-depth review of all the models, you have to wait a little bit because these are just my favorite models. I will do a basic overview. It looks so good. The color is just so perfect. Like the detail on this model is incredible. The engines, you can see through them. The engine is the perfect size. I can't say enough good things about this model. The details there, the antenna is there. This thing is awesome. Moving on to the next model, we have a Gemini Jets model. Now, I didn't put many Gemini Jets models on this list because Gemini Jets hasn't really been doing well recently, and this is actually mostly for the livery and not the actual mold, because I dislike the mold so much for just one reason. We have Qantas's Boeing 787-9 in the 100th anniversary livery, and the model is right here. Now, I have a couple of things to say about this model. Now, the reason it's my favorite model is not because of the mold. I wish NG Models made this plane because I would buy it in a heartbeat. Now, one thing that Gemini Jets did do was change the box, but as you can see, they literally just made it white and put the 100th anniversary logo. Yeah, I guess it's sort of like an effort. It's okay, but I'm not loving it. It's just a white box. There's nothing special to it. But like I said, the reason I love this model so much is the livery. The livery, the 787-10 100th I don't even know what I'm saying. The Qantas 100th anniversary livery looks so good. I actually bought this model at the diecast airplane shop in New Jersey, and they put a clear coat over it, obviously, to preserve the decals, but for some reason mine was covered in fingerprints that were not removable by water. I actually had to use alcohol to remove it, and what that does is actually removes the layer of what's it called, clear coat, and it actually can remove the decals because you're removing the protective coating over it, and that's actually how you remove decals for custom models. So I had to be extremely careful to remove most of the fingerprints, and there's still some there, and I'm extremely disappointed that the quality check is just not good. Some of the wheels roll, the rear roll, and the front does not. I'm not sure why, but on all my Gemini Jet 787 molds, they don't, and I'm not sure why. The engine on this looks a little bit large, which is kind of, you know, Gemini Jets' thing on their A320 molds, their A320 family in general, the A319, A320, and A321, and the Neos. They all seem to have very large engines for some reason, but this engine is a little bit large, it seems, and you cannot see through the engine, and that's one of the reasons that I hate this mold. It just looks so unrealistic, and just one thing that they could have done just so easily is just made it see-through, and like the real thing, and just it would have been 100 times better, of course. And on the NG model 787, it's a two-piece wing like real life, and I complain about this all the time. If you look close enough, it's a one-piece wing, and I hate that, because not only can you see it from the bottom, you can actually see it from the side, and it just, here, let me get some better lighting for you guys. It just does not look good at all, and it just disappoints me so much that after all this time, after all this, you know, talk about Gemini Jets, they still haven't fixed it. Although we have seen a little bit of improvement on their A320 molds. So that's Gemini Jets, and like I said, that's mostly for the livery, and these are in no particular order, so I don't want you guys to think that, you know, one of them I love and the other one I don't love so much. Moving on to one that you've actually seen before, and that is the NG Models Airbus Beluga XL. Well, first of all, it's NG Models. This was my first ever NG Models, and I have very little to say about it that's bad. The only thing that I wish they did was make the front open, and I actually got a comment saying open up the front. The front does not open, sadly. I wish that NG Models did that, because that would have been my favorite model. It does look like it's openable, but I can show you it just does not open at all. That would have made it my #1 favorite model. But it's NG Models, first of all. NG Model, look at the box. Like, look at that. That looks so awesome. This is just a post-it. It's not part of the box. It just looks so good. The detail is so good. Like, with all NG Models, I'm really worried that after they start getting a lot of demand, that their quality is going to go down. And I so hope that that doesn't happen, because that's what's keeping them afloat right now, is their detail and their quality and how good their molds are and the engines and everything. It's just so good, and the boxes, but I hope they don't do what Gemini Jets do and, you know, ruin their models. But you can see through the engines. I already did a review. If you want to see that, it is on my channel, and you can actually look at a more in-depth review of this. So I'm going to stay not too long on this model, but it's one of my favorite models, and you can see through the engines. The wheels roll, all standard NG Models amazingness. Moving on to the next model, this is another one that you have seen on my channel. I have reviewed before, and it's a big boy, and I don't think I can fit it all in the frame. No, I cannot. But you know exactly what it is. It's the Antonov 225. I have reviewed this on my channel, like I said, and if you want to see a review of it, can't even see it in the whole thing. I'll lower it a little bit. There you go. The Antonov 225. This thing looks awesome. Now, the reason this is on my favorite aircraft list is because it's the Antonov 225. What is there not like about it? It has 6 engines. It has, I don't know, like 38 landing gear. It's insane. It's broken so many world records, and it's actually flying now to help with coronavirus, and I hope everyone's doing okay, by the way, about that. I hope everyone is safe, staying indoors, and hopefully this will be over soon. But going back to the model, it's just the Antonov 225. What is there not to like about it? And this is the only, Herpa is the only company that I know of that makes a 1/400 scale Antonov 225. Now, the detail isn't great. It is a two-piece wing, but the detail isn't wonderful. The wheels don't roll. There's no see-through engines or anything, but it's the Antonov 225. The hatch does not open on this one either, even though you can see it in the picture. And, but yeah, there's nothing to not like about this model. Yeah, that's a short one. If you want to see the review, it's on my channel. So let's move on from the Antonov 225. Moving on from the largest aircraft, we're going to move on to a smaller aircraft, and we're going back to Gemini jets. Now, moving back to Gemini jets, we have this. The JetBlue A320 and the Firefighter, edition. I don't know what you'd call it, but this is an A320, and I actually have sort of a funny storyline behind this. I used to think that this was specifically designed to ferry around firefighters. I didn't realize that it was a special livery commemorating firefighters. Now, this is, in real life, an airplane shop special. You can only buy this off of the airplane shop, and I actually originally thought it was a limited edition thing, like they were only selling a limited amount. And I, basically, the first day it came out, I bought it, because I thought, you know, this is only going to be out for a couple of days, and that's it. But no, they still have it up, and, I'm not sad about buying this, because Gemini jets, if you go on eBay and you try to get an old JetBlue A321 or A320, they're going for so much money. I cannot find any. And if you check on Instagram, NG Models puts their hints in for, you know, each month, and I think they're releasing a JetBlue model, JetBlue A321, I think, not the Neo, just the A320. And I actually bought Gemini Jets A321 Neo, and that thing is just horrendous. Now, it looks good, the fuselage looks good, but the Neos, the engines are absolutely awful. I have a review on that, on the Neo, on my channel, and the engines, I didn't know how bad they were, but they are so bad, and I'm actually going to do an A321 Neo after this JetBlue, but this is a very nice one. It's painted completely red. It's one of Gemini Jets, definitely, you know, they did a better job on this one. The engines don't look massive. It's a nice model, and I've seen it a lot of times before. When I stayed at the TWA hotel, I saw this out my window. It's a very nice model, though. I do like this one, and it's mostly for the livery, but this isn't a bad mold. Moving on, we're going to go to the NG Models Aer Lingus A321. Now, the reason I love this model so much is because, well, NG Models, there you go. It just comes up again and again. But their mold for the A321 Neo, now they haven't released any A320 Neos as far as I'm concerned, but it just looks so good. Like, compared to, let me see if I can get, what's it called? My JetBlue A321 is actually broken. Let me see here. Here we go. Let's just do a quick comparison. Here we go. If you look at the JetBlue, the engines are absolutely massive. Look at the difference. Now, if you're wondering which one's the correct one, NG Models has the correct engine size, and it's just so good. You can see through the engines. The fan blades look like the fan blades. The box is, of course, amazing because NG Models actually puts time into their boxes and doesn't reuse old designs. All the landing gear rolls. The detail is so good, of course, is a standard with NG Models. I hope they make more A321 Neos and A320s, and I hope I can see them progress and make even better models, but it's just so much better than the Gemini Jets mold, and that's part of the reason that I put this into the list, and the colors are perfect. I don't know what else to say because it's NG Models. And moving on to the next one, we have one that's kind of special, and this is also partly for the livery. We have the Amazon Prime Air Go Gold livery. Now I actually didn't even know about this plane until I bought it. I really wanted an Amazon Prime plane, but they were really expensive and I couldn't actually find one for sale at the moment. So I actually saw this and I thought this looked way cooler. On one side, it's for kids and kids who have cancer, and it's part of their donation thing. I'm honestly not sure. But the mold is really good. It's the 767-300ER. The landing gear used to roll, but I've noticed a trend with Phoenix models, and this is a Phoenix model, by the way. Their wheels tend to fall off. They roll, and then you roll them a little bit, and the landing gear actually just pops off. They do not stay on for some reason, and I've had this reoccur with lots of their models, and I'm still not sure why. I wish they could, make it a little bit more secure. But yeah, this is a very nice mold. It's gold. It says Prime Air on one side, and there's the gold stripe here and the gold smiley face, which is what it technically is. There's supposed to be A to Z, and it's a smiley face. That's the design behind the logo, the more you know. And then on the bottom it says Amazon Goes Gold. And this is a very nice mold, a very nice model. I just wish the landing gear would stay on, which is one of my griefs about, Phoenix models, and it's happened with almost every single one of them. And but this is a very nice mold, very nice livery, very nice plane. Moving on, next plane we have is actually another Phoenix model. Now, you've seen this one on my channel where I didn't do a super in-depth review of it, but I did do a review of it, and I compared it to Gemini Jet's 300ER. This thing is a very nice model, actually. It's definitely one of my favorites, or else it wouldn't be on this list, of course. This model is quite good. The mold is really nice, and I actually, for some reason, really like the 777-200LR and 200. I like the shorter 777s for some reason, and I like them more. I'm not sure what to say. They look funnier. But yes, this is the one model, actually one of the 5 Phoenix models that I have that the wheels haven't fallen off, which I'm quite happy about, and that means that they still roll. The engines are a little bit, as I said in my review, they seem a little bit off. They seem too wide, but you can see through them. They're individual. They're not just one solid piece of plastic. Yeah, this is definitely one of the nicer molds. The height is correct, unlike Gemini Jets, and yeah, this is definitely a nice model. And I had the 777-200ER, but I wanted the shorter one, and I wanted Phoenix models, so I sort of upgraded to this one. Moving on, we have 2 more models, and actually 3 more models. Sorry, we have this one. Now, this one is kind of rare, and I haven't seen that many people buy this one. And I'm not going to move the camera up because I always get my finger stuck in the stupid lens, and I'm just going to have to move it back down. So we have the LATAM 777-300ER and the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the Walt Disney World Galaxy Edge Star Wars livery. Now, this thing is just awesome. I love LATAM's normal livery. It's simple, but it's really nice. But this just takes it to a whole new level. The bottom has LATAM's logo. I just wanted to point that out. And this is actually textured. Like, you can feel the individual. It's very hard to see in camera because they're so small, but there's individual, like, circles, and you can actually feel them. They're actually textured, which is really cool. I have not made a review of this one yet, and I probably will. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love about this and what makes it on the list, now the problem that I had with the Air Canada 777-200LR by Phoenix is that the engines weren't correct. But in this model, which is made a little bit later, they actually fixed it, and now it looks correct. And I think Phoenix models has some of the best 777 molds out there. This is so good. The livery is awesome. Like, in the front, and part of the reason that I bought it is the indistinguishable feature about this is that it has a Stormtrooper mask on the front, and it's on the front there, which is so cool. Definitely one of my favorite models. Definitely in my top 10. Moving on to our second to last model, and the last 2 that we have are actually Gemini Jets, and there are very few that I really like by Gemini Jets. The only reason I really purchase them is because they're actually sometimes cheaper, and also they have they usually have more American models and more up-to-date models. Now, one of them is the Delta A220. Now, the reason I bought it from Gemini Jets originally was because when I purchased it, there were no other A220 Delta models, because I know the A220 is also operated by Air Baltic, and there's another company in like Europe that operates them. Now, I know there's orders for a couple of other airlines, I think, that are planning on operate the A220. Sorry, I didn't bring the model into frame. Here it is. Now, I know Delta is planning on getting the A220-300, and I know Gemini Jets is releasing it, and Air Canada has the A220-300, and apparently it's better. The Gemini Jets Delta A220-100 is worse than the new Air Canada A220-300. I hope that made sense. So hopefully I might buy it just because apparently the mold is better. Now, one of the main issues that people found with this is, I don't know if this is actually normal, but the wings are slightly discolored. So if I bring this up to you, if you look, the wings and the fuselage are two different colors. I don't know if that's normal or intentional. But two, the landing gear for some reason was terrible on this model. I can't really show it to you, but it's literally just like semi-transparent plastic with black pieces on it. It doesn't roll. It constantly falls off because for some reason there are no mounting points on it. The landing gear is just so awful on this model, and I'm not sure, there's like no detail on it, and I'm not sure why Gemini Jets decided to do this. They could have easily put on like way better landing gear and this model would have been so much better, but no, I'm not sure why. But yeah, it's just another thing about Gemini Jets. But this is a nice mold overall and a nice model in general. Now moving on to our very last thing, and before I actually do that, I'm just gonna give a shout out to NG Models, like I said, as a whole. I can't wait to get more models by them, and they make some of the best models out there. They are a little bit more expensive usually, and most of the times, half of their monthly reviews are like older aircraft, like the L-1011 and stuff like that, planes that aren't, or the 757, like retired aircraft, which usually go on sale because no one really buys the older models. They have more up-to-date models, which they usually include in their airports and stuff. So I hope NG Models will start releasing less and less of the older models and start releasing more American and newer models that are more, like the United 787 and stuff like that. But moving on to our last model, like I said, none of these are any particular order, and I'm not sure where the box is for this one, but I have the model. So this is one of my favorite models that I own. Of course, this whole list is my favorite models, but I really like this one, and I'll actually go closer because I don't have the box, but I really like this one because, well, it's the 727. Now, I couldn't find any 727s flying in America, and I know that you're thinking like, what, this doesn't fly in America either, but it does fly in Mexico, and I'm almost positive it has taken a few trips up to New York, and I think into actually Newark, it's taken a few trips. So I thought might as well, since my airport is based in New York, I might as well, take this because I wanted a 727. Like I said, there are none operating in America anymore. FedEx retired theirs. DHL might actually still have some, but I don't think they fly them in America. So yeah, this flies to America, I think, every once in a while, and in my airport I'll consider it like a special guest or something like that. So yeah, this is a cool model. The mold isn't great. It's a Gemini Jets mold. The engine is a little bit, weird, and some of the details are a little bit, off, but overall not a terrible model. So that's about it. I'm gonna move on to the news now because it's now time for the news, and I'll just sort of cycle the planes that I had on this list today as you're listening. What's coming up for my channel? Well, I hope I can get a more, a better upload schedule for you guys. The reason I haven't been uploading is just because, it's almost the end of the school year, and, quarantine has just gotten me, like, I have to hunker down on my work and make sure that I'm getting it all done. And this is obviously a new set. I've been getting a new desk. A lot has been going on. I just haven't had time to upload. And so yeah, hopefully I can start getting more, let's say weekly uploads for now. Hopefully I can upload every week for you guys. What's coming up? Well, not much, to be quite honest. We obviously can't fly. I mean, like, we can technically fly, but it's too risky. I am planning on getting a drone, so maybe I'll share some aerial shots with you guys. I guess this is sort of an aviation channel, and drones are aviation. I guess you could say. So hopefully I can get some of that for you guys. But yeah, I can't fly. I hopefully will buy some more models. I'm thinking about buying my first 1 to 200 scale model, and I'm thinking about buying the Delta A220 as my 1 to 200 scale, since I love the A220 so much. But yeah, oh, something that's very cool that's coming up is NG Models released the United Her Art Here in 1 to 400 scale on the 757s, and hopefully United doesn't retire the 757s, because I'll be devastated since I just spent almost $100 on those two models. I bought both, so hopefully I will be one of the first people to get it out to you guys. Wow, the landing gear literally just broke on camera. See what I mean? So I'm actually going to take this one off screen so it can stay like that. I'm not sure. Like I said, the A220 mold for Gemini jets isn't great. But going back to the news, hopefully I can get those planes out as soon as possible, but NG Models had a delay with them. I think they were having some printing issues. But as soon as they get to me, I will make a review for you guys, because I bought both, so you'll be able to see both of them at the same time. Or if you want me to make 2 separate reviews and post them on the same day, tell me in the comments. But yeah, I really hope to get that for you guys, and that's one of the coolest models, I think, in my opinion, livery-wise. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys continue to stick around and watch my videos, and hopefully I can upload more regularly for you guys. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.